Starting to the left side of the map, we have our Protoss player in purple. Be careful because headshot.
STX Soul Trap.
Yep, that's what it is.
We need a couple of really funny intros. We need Street Fighter Boys to go just for this. It's a trap thing, trying to pull an Akbar here.
He's got that rule sheet in the background again. Now, of course, to the right side of the map, MVP player, a Terran with a lot of potential. Very young Terran, he is.
MVP Dream.
He's also down a game in the group, as well as Trap.
He was up against a very strong playstyle from Squirtle, so I feel this is a little bit different for him. He's facing the second Protoss player in the group.
Yeah, Trap himself got a little bit unlucky against Tasia on his first map, so they're both just in an awkward position, but they can tie themselves up here with a win.
Yeah, Emil, especially Tasia, is not showing any weaknesses here. Against Trap, you can argue that he got a little bit lucky when he saw those two sentries because the Hellions were on the map. But at the same time, everything, he did not win because he was lucky, he won because he was just the better player in this game.
Yeah.
Here, it just added to the whole situation that we had in this match. But Tasia today is showing us a great macro style, great multitasking, and a very, very solid performance. So this is what people expected when they saw this group. They were like, okay, most people actually agreed on Tasia and Squirtle being the two dominant players in the group, and this has to, yeah, this was proven right. I mean, we have to see if they are able to get out, but right now things are looking good for both of them.
Yeah, they certainly are. Yeah, and I wonder what strategy we're going to see out of Dream, in fact, considering he's taken a gas. This is something he's denied the scouting information of Trap for. Again, on a map like this and on a map like Belcher Vestige, you do not usually expect a Terran player to take gas. You expect him to play the later game because that's where the Terran has most of their advantages on this map. But because of that expectation, it can be really tricky to see someone take gas like this. Very aggressive scout by Dream. He wants to make sure that he knows if there's a Nexus going down. He wants to see if there's anything weird going on, like one base tech with two gases.
I feel this is definitely going to be a very different game from what we've seen yesterday when MC was playing against Yoda.
Yeah.
MC trying to be very aggressive with his Blink Stalkers. He was very, well, reluctant to take this third base, which is of course understandable on Abyssal City, but he tried to make it work even when he should have maybe decided to go into an expansion a little bit earlier. But I mean, that's hindsight knowledge and hindsight wisdom once again. So MC in the situation just felt that he had what it took to take Yoda down, and Yoda with his defense was a little bit too strong. The bunker already at the front, and Trap now has to make the decision what he exactly is going for. The expansion, of course, is at this point inevitable, but what is he going to do after that?
You know what's funny to me is Dream saw already Trap die to that Hellion Marine attack. Yeah, there was a little bit of luck involved, but the transition from Tasia was really nice. But Dream is now doing basically the exact same build on another map where you would expect Terran to try to go to the mid and late game. And he may be thinking to himself, well, it worked once against this guy. Maybe it'll work twice. And it's kind of funny to have a player like Trap face the same strategy twice and see how he adapts or see how things are different. Because obviously this time he's not going up to 4 gates. This time he's playing this a lot more standard. 1 to 2 gates after the Nexus is planted.
I really like how Dream is playing this. And Dream saw the expansion, so there's no scouting information really for Trap. He expects that there's an expansion. The bunker was there. That's what he saw. He didn't have the Zealot and the Stalker out, which a lot of Protoss players will try to attempt to do because they want to run in and see that there is actually a command center, which is not the case here. So Trap might find himself in a very awkward position where he can't defend what's coming.
Yeah, well, he's going to lose the Zealot, but it's more important that, and actually we'll save it, it's more important that he sees these Marines. That's actually very crucial. He wanted to clear up the Watchtower with that first Marine, but unfortunately was not able to do it. So now with Dream, he's pushing out, but Trap knows exactly what's going on. He actually pulls everything into his main base to prepare for that dropship. And the Hellions are not really going to be a concern for him either, since he doesn't have a single probe that's natural. Just one pops out now.
If you execute this push well that Dream is currently preparing, you will always do damage. The main question is how much damage will you do, and will you make up for the fact that your opponent has the expansion a little bit faster than you?
These Stalkers are split really nicely. You won't be able to drop this off, but he actually left his probes as natural, surprisingly, so the Hellions could do some serious damage.
Oh, when he pulls all the Stalkers now to the natural, He's just waiting for the Hellions to move in. He knows that there's a multi-prong attack coming his way. The main question is how well can he defend against it. Suddenly all the units are in the main base, and here come the Hellions.
He doesn't target perfectly, but there he goes. That's how you want to do it.
Takes down quite a lot of them. Now he's in the main base. He can take down the sentry, but he's going for the harvest.
Wow, so many probes going down here. He could actually even get more.
Ouch, that hurts. That's actually so much. How many did he kill? 13 in total. That is not where you want to be. But in the main base, there was... How did that Zealot sneak in there? 3 harvesters killed.
And you know, the other thing to consider is he killed all the Marines and the medevac. So, as far as that trade goes...
Oh, you're right. He actually took down the medevac. I missed that.
He's got very few units to defend this push that's coming across the map. But on the other hand, there's no probe with this, so he can't make a forward pylon and actually continue the attack. But there's very few units out right now for Dream. He's tried to power up his production facilities with his command center. There's only 1 Marine in that bunker now, too.
The Banshee will help. The Banshee will help, and he has the first Marauder, so he should be fine here. The Banshee is already headed to the left side of the map. He doesn't even try to help with the Banshee at the defense, because he knows that with the Marauder now he's fine, even building the second bunker here. But in economy, Dream is definitely ahead. He has 32 harvesters against 34 and has the double mule. This puts himself into a really good position. And the Banshee should be able to take down at least 2 or 3 harvesters. Oh, we could go for the sentries.
Yeah, he's going to get the sentries. It just depends on what actually Trap warps in next. He doesn't have a forward pylon, so he should warp in Stalkers as soon as he sees his Banshee. He can only warp in 1, though. Now the pylon finishes. So here's the first one, and he may get a second one as well.
4 kills. 5. Well,
he's actually just going to target and then run away, tanking the Stalker shots.
And this means that we have our Terran player ahead in Harvesters, a situation that you never want to be in as a Protoss. Down in Harvesters, up against not only SCVs, but also Mules. Really, really difficult for Trap now. But Trap is going straight into Storm.
Yeah, he is. And this is pretty smart. I like this choice. Banshee knew what was up. He knows his opponent's ID pretty well, so he's able to avoid that trap of the Stalkers coming down to the south. So Banshee gets away, will survive to annoy him once more a little bit later on. But this push that's coming out for Dream is actually really scary because he's going to have Stim done. Combat shields are getting closer to being done. He's got medevacs, several of them out. He would even have an additional one if he hadn't lost that one in the main. He's not going to have +1 though. And the +1 armor is going to be done for Trap. So consider that. That's going to be something that's really, really important here.
Here come the double medevacs with the bio units now to the left. Charge is being researched for Trap. Blink wouldn't really do anything for him at this point.
No,
Charge
really.
Definitely a good choice. But now he doesn't see the drop. He had a glimpse of it, but did he really watch this? No, he didn't watch the spot. He doesn't know, and this is really bad for him. Here comes the entire force of the Terran player. The force fields are working against the Zealots. There are a lot of units now for Trap, but are there enough? The Archon is really important.
Yeah.
And now
He gets pushed back. And one thing I will say is he also had the Stalkers defend the Banshee. There was the Banshee that came back was easily denied by that Stalker, so I'm really glad he did that. Otherwise, he would have lost a ton of SCVs, or rather probes, that is natural during this. And I think that was a plan of Dream. Dream is known for his multitasking, and it showed through there, but Trap was ready for both. Remember as well, we talked about the SCV count, we talked about the mules. What it comes down to on this map, though, now is what's shown at the top right. It's that command center that's at the third base, because that is something that Trap is basically never going to be able to take comfortably.
That is definitely true. We have him now with the third base, and this is going to be very difficult for Trap, who's already behind in this game. But Storm will help him, only to a certain extent, though, because Team identified the threat and started a Ghost Academy right away, so he should be able to get the Ghosts out for the snipes, for the MPs.
Good feedback on the Banshee as well, eliminates that high ground vision. Factory's not going to be able to stay there forever, so he's just going to try to come in here and pick off a Templar if he can. Using the force fields against the Zealots, trying to pick off one of these pylons. Dream's control is actually insanely good.
The big problem is, and there's no pun intended, that Trap is trapped on 2 bases now. He can't really take this third. We talked about this. He wants to get Storm, and then he might be able to push out. The area of effect damage against the bio units is going to be very important, but the added economy for Dream will bring him farther ahead in the series. And the problem is also that with the completed Ghost Academy, he can go straight into Ghosts. Another attempted drop in the main base, gonna kill a few of those Harvesters, not too many, as Trap is already moving back. But his units, In a bit of an awkward spot. Mining time lost, Harvester's lost, can't take down the Medivac, doesn't have a Templar for the feedback, doesn't have enough anti-air units.
Yeah, and here come those units at the natural. Where are the Storms? He needs to drop them right now. Dream is already on his way out, picking off several Zealots. The Storm goes down, but he's going to lose a Templar. And actually, he didn't get too many kills with that Storm. He damaged a lot of these units, but Dream is still here, and he just goes and picks off Templar. There's not a lot of support for those Templars, so he can actually do this. He drops in the main. He's killing these units as they warp in. Dream's multitasking is insane. Take note of it.
Is still holding. Oh, nice. Nice. Goes for the force field.
But
goes for the Storm, but a nice... Yeah, he saves the unit with the Medivacs. Really well done. Still the problem, Trap holding, he's really holding here, is making this defense work, but without a third base, he eventually will fall too far behind.
Tab. He's got +2 for his attack. He's got the Mobius Reactor, he has Ghosts, more Medivacs, Bunkers, additional Barracks, versus Trap can only make 2 pylons, 2 gateways, and +1. He's on cooldown with his Warp Gates because he can't add more gateways just yet without a third base. He's adding a few more. I think Trap is starting to realize that he's going to have to do an attack off of 2 bases. He actually decides to take this third, and you know, as soon as Dream finds out about it, he's just gonna veto it like he's the president of this map.
The third at the bottom left now, this is the big story. You just pointed that out. The big issue is, will Dream take it down right now? But this just thins out Trap's defensive forces so much. Now the main base is once again exposed, and there's a double drop headed into the main. Will the Templar see it? Is there going to be a feedback? He drops energy. Yeah, he doesn't have enough energy, and he has no chance to kill the Medivacs. Now the Templar is dead without doing anything at all. At the bottom left, we have another attack. Green is everywhere, takes down the Templar Archive, goes for the Forge. No more upgrades for you, buddy. No +1 attack upgrade. And Trap, he's at even supply, but this situation is very bad for him.
It's very dire. You know, he decides to focus on the main rather than the third, so these forces down here are getting totally owned, and he's lost a lot of army, in fact, but the damage on the main base is going to be potentially too much. One thing that's really, really, really important to note, though, is that Trap actually starts his robotic support base. Finished now. He goes for Warp Paper Speed instead of Colossi, which is a choice I find a little bit questionable, but if he had gone for Colossi, that'd be something that Dream would not really be prepared for this time. He's still making Ghosts.
He doesn't have all the gas yet at the natural. He has a bit of a bank that he can use, but he wants to rely on the Storms a bit more heavily at this point. Could even go for a Storm drop. The third base for Dream is safe, and Dream still hasn't won this game. He's getting very far ahead in the upgrades on the other hand. He's on 2 attack, 1 armor. He just started +3 attack and +2 armor, whereas Trap finds himself on 2 attack upgrades. No, 2 armor upgrades actually. Yes, my bad. But Trap now pushing out, and 68 army supply against 75. He made this whole defense work. We said this earlier. He made it work so far, and now he has this third base, and he's the one pushing out. Can he do damage on his own?
It's going to be tough, and I feel like Dream almost overextended with how much harassment he was going for, but here comes that Zealot drop in the main base. He's going to maybe get some add-ons here. He could go for SCVs. The SCVs will be pulled immediately. And he's definitely going to be able to save him. He actually goes for the Ghost Academy. He's going to get it before Cloak is done. Nothing that Dream can do.
That's great for him. He kills the Ghost Academy. No more Ghosts. He starts another one before the Academy dies. Very important here for him. And immediately rebuilds the Academy. Tries to force those units back. And this is always a bit also the case. You know, it looks always so dominant when Terran player drops with multiple drops, goes for these attacks at the third. But Trap defended quite well. His problem was his economy. That it was such a long time where Dream was ahead of him, and Dream is still ahead in economy. But can Trap now get the damage done that he needs to equalize it?
He's doing a great job with this Warp Prism.
It's so fast with the speed upgrade, it's crazy.
He even starts another Warp Prism. So he knows this one may potentially die.
You know, now it's a Dream to defend here.
Yeah,
and Dream looks a little bit lost at this point. He's like, well, this Warp Prism, I can't get a hold of it. So what am I going to do now?
He could make one Viking, I guess.
Yeah. He has that's what he does. Yeah. He has sensor turrets, and they are awesome for him now. So with the sensor turrets, he has a good grasp of when exactly these Warp Prisms are coming in. In the middle of the map, we have a bit of a fight now. The EMPs were really good, and now Dream decided, well, I'm not letting you toy around with me. I'm moving out now. I have my ghosts.
12 ghosts in fact right now, and EMP hits that Zealot.
If he times this well, he will have a huge upgrade lead.
Yeah, he's going to do just that. As the ghosts get in, but they actually retreat, he's a little bit concerned. Really nice positioning here by Trap. And the SCVs are going to go long distance mine over here. I'm not sure about what's going on with that. Meanwhile, there was a slight attack at the natural. He's actually...
This Warp Prism is really paying off.
Yeah, that Warp Prism is down to 5 hit points, but he barely does not kill it. He targets the Zealot instead. Wow.
Plus 3 armor here.
And finally, the Warp Prism is down.
Double Viking.
But at this point, you know, Trap has put himself back in this game in some regards.
Yes,
his upgrades are a big concern for him, though.
Also, he has now 2 in a double Colossi production. The Vikings are being produced, so that's definitely good for Dream that he's ready for it. But still, Trap has brought himself back into this game, and this was not an easy task. This was really well done. The defense of him was good. The problem was the delayed third base, and he made it work with his counterattacks, and he traded well so far. So kudos to Trap. Well played.
Yeah, really nicely done. And I mean, he's actually taking a supply lead for the first time in quite some time. And he doesn't have a 4th base, but Dream has still the better composition. He's a little bit behind in Vikings, but his ghost count is enough to where if he takes a fight before the next few Colossi get out, he should be able to win it. But the longer the time goes on, though, he's definitely going to have more Colossi to deal with.
The Forge is still unpowered, apparently. Is that correct? It has to be, because the upgrade stopped. Yeah, and he's building a pylon now, so that will start in a few seconds. He also starts... Oh, wastes the chrono boost, though. Has plus 3 attack also on the tap. Upgrade advantage still goes to Dream now, and here comes the main battle. And wow, these EMPs are really good.
Yeah.
Hits most of the sentries, a lot of the army.
He has no detection here. He's got no observer, so he can't even hit those ghosts. Meanwhile, another attack. The 4th base is spotted. And it looks like he will barely save that pylon at the 4th. You guys don't get a shot of it, but that's okay. You can see he's constantly using this Warp Prism to put his Templar in the right spot. Look at these EMPs, though. Wow. This is going to make this army half the hit points that it would normally like.
Nice defensive storms here, but the Colossi are going to be attacked anyways. One of them dead. The Storms were just trying to make sure that he could retreat. The Dream did not follow with his army, didn't chase him down in a bad position. If you are on the run and a Terran army starts stimming and the Vikings also follow your Colossi, you're always in a bad spot. You can't really position yourself well, and those Storms really made sure that Dream could not follow him.
Yeah, a lot of the Vikings now really low on hit points, and he used a ton of medevac energy there. A lot of that was burned. Now, I have to say, the Colossi count 4 versus 12 Vikings. He's got the right Viking composition. He's got good upgrades here. He just needs to make sure he fights it well, and those storm drops were really good. Oh, wow. That was a game changer here, and that command center may have to be canceled. He's making it right in a battlefield.
Well, the Colossi are gone, all but one, and the Archons helped a lot here. Dream is falling behind in overall supply. He's trying to make the choke point work to his advantage, and this could be one of the things that helps him here. If Trap really goes into the choke point, he loses his Archons. The Storms are way too good, though.
Yeah, and Dream, you know, he's got himself really on the back, but Trap has too much momentum now. Trap actually is right on top of him here.
Plus 3 armor is nearly completed, but Trap was able to catch up in upgrades. He already has a shield upgrade to him as well. We have a 4th base for Dream. He has a really good income, but a 4th also ready for Trap. He's still going for double Colossi. Vikings are being rebuilt. Can those Stalkers do anything against these units? Not enough. There are too many Marauders in the mix. This is such a back and forth game at this point.
More Zealots coming in here, but I feel like Trap, you know, he saw the opportunity, but rather than going for the SCVs and some of those supply depots in the natural, went for the 3rd base. 3rd base was really heavily fortified with that bunker. Then he got trapped in the corner. And Dream had a lot of low hit points units, but they were enough to push it back with the medevacs. But like you said, this is very back and forth. The resource loss of both players are so even, and they're both on the same amount of bases. The upgrades have evened out. Blink has started now. I think this is actually something that would have really helped him in that last fight to be able to chase.
This is a really, really cool game. Really back and forth. Earlier on, we had Dream kind of dominating it a bit, trying to put as much aggression onto Trap as humanly possible. Trap, on the other hand, he didn't lose his calm here, and now he has 3 bases. He has actually 4, and Dream is on 4 bases on his own. So this is a pretty decent game here. Let's have a quick look at the numbers of ghosts that we have. 10 ghosts, getting another 3. That's a lot of EMPs and snipes, up against 6 High Templars, 4 Archons, and the Viking count gets also a lot better now, but he's up against 4 Colossi already.
You know how many observers he has? He has 8, and they have speed.
Fighting style.
He can see almost everything. Oh, it's a terrible position to engage. The observers are naked. That storm is great defensively, but it hits nothing, but it allows him to escape. This is what we talked about earlier.
Yeah, that was just a big precaution.
But, you know, when you have 7 observers on the map, it certainly helps you position yourself well. Look at how
Guys,
this vision is.
This is definitely one of those points in the game where both players are just completely on autopilot. You have tunnel vision right now. This is so intense. You're completely on autopilot. You're trying to get into a good position. This is so tense for them and so difficult to play. You have to cover all your bases, and that's what both of them are doing. Trying to get into a good position, get the better angle in the fight. Dream walking up the ramp now, always scanning ahead. He always wants to know what is up on that high ground. Where is my opponent's army position? How are his units actually arranged in this army?
Here we go
again.
He needs some EMPs. So far they're good, but he doesn't get all the Templar. The storms go down, but the Ghosts have a lot of hit points here. They can actually just run through those storms and go for the snipes. He needs some support. He actually loses way too many Templar here.
Yeah, and the Ghosts, they took damage, but they are healed by the Medivacs. Even a nuke being built now.
No range for Colossi this entire time. He's just now started it.
Wow, he just forgot the upgrade. We didn't even catch on to that.
Yeah, you know, and that's actually a really big, important factor. He's also got nukes, and he starts to use them.
He's actually nuking the army. He's nuking the main body of the army, and he forces Trap back, and now suddenly the space is a bit exposed. He uses the nukes as a very positional weapon.
Oh,
and this
what a storm!
That was beautiful.
Without that observer, that would have not been possible.
That was James Bond Templar.
Yeah, it certainly was, man. At this point, he's going to go for another drop, and the storms are good. Trap fighting against all odds here with 6 storms. It's Colossi without range, though. You can see how much they struggle to close the distance.
Trap
Where
is
are the Vikings?
dropping in supply. The Vikings doing damage. Still no
Now
extended
they're here,
double down, and suddenly
Whoa.
Dream. He hits the T button again. He tees and he goes down the ramp. Pushes Trap back. Trap is going to lose this 4th base. He's down to 100 supply against 173. There's so many Marines left. The Storms did damage, but the Marines are still alive. And this is so much DPS. Look at this army supply. 40 against 120.
Yeah, it's quadrupled the army supply at this point, and I
can't believe you screwed the math up again.
I heard.
Come on, I know you're trolling. That has to be trolling.
Listen, man. I had 30 in my head, I swear. I had 30 in my head.
Sure.
I swear, man, I swear.
We all believe you, Wolf.
I swear on my TI-82 calculator at home, man, I swear. Here we go. Stims again, and this time all the units of Dream on full hit points here, and the Vikings are looking for a Colossi, but they just can't find one.
How much supply has he had now?
73.
Oh yeah.
73 is...
The Storm is good, and he's still in such a great position. Here come the EMPs, and now Trap with the last desperate attempt to win this game, but Dream is ready, moves back a little bit, dodges everything, and there it is. GG once again. Trap finds himself 0-2 in the group. Dream with his first win in Group B at the up and downs for the GSL. 1-1 for him now, and Trap, he knows that he's in trouble.
Well, this is an uncomfortable position for him, but I had to say, you know, Dream looked good at this multitask in the early game. I think he overextended himself a little bit for a while, where he was actually starting to lose more than he was gaining. And Trap fought against all odds with excellent storms, great Warp Prism control, and I was actually thinking he might be able to turn it around in certain points in that game.
It was really well done, and he pushed Dream definitely back, and especially the Warp Prism did so much damage. When he killed the Ghost Academy, then he had the speed upgrade for the Warp Prism, just bounced between the bases, and it took Dream quite a while to really get a hold on the Warp Prism. He pushed out again, and in the end, Dream was able to win it, but it was definitely not an easy win. Trap showed us a really good game, or gave Dream a run, but still, Trap is down 2 games, and that's not a good position to be in.
Imagine if he had Colossus range during some of those fights.
The first one, yeah.
I mean, that was the time where there were not a lot of Vikings and didn't have range. If he had range during that moment, things would have been very different, I feel.
He was trying in the first fight, or was it the second, to lure those Vikings over the Archons, and with the range upgrade, it would have been a lot easier for him. So he saved 1, lost, I think, 3 or 4. He could have saved a few more, I guess, and that might have left him in a position where he could try to push into the natural. He was attempting to go into the choke point at the at where the Rocks were still alive, so he was trying to go up there, but he really couldn't do that too well. So, with range, maybe. But as it is, Dream takes the game, is now on 1-1. We are jumping into a short commercial break, and then we will be back with the next game, which is going to be Happy against Squirtle. Yep. Squirtle already being 2-0 in the group, so guys, stay tuned. We'll be back with the GSL up and downs in just a few minutes.
Did you want to sleep things?